And guess, have you tried something new recently? And have you tried something new that you really like? And then you found out what it was called, and you said, what a silly name. Recently, I tried a new sport, and it's a cross between table tennis and tennis, and it's called pickleball. So today we're going to go over the basic rules, some items related to the advantages and disadvantages, and I'm going to go over two motions that are going to be used mainly, which is one of them is a spring action, which is compression and decompression, and the other one is rotation, which is you're doing winding and unwinding. So those are the two basic motions: spring action and winding and unwinding. And that's how you're going to use your muscles to play this game. And then we're going to go over three basic items: the serve, the forehand, and the backhand. And one of the items we'll cover also is related to the differences between the two sports and the advantages in terms of the skill level and also the wear and tear on your body for these sports. To get started quickly, this is what the paddle looks like. And I'm comparing it to tennis, which is like about that size. So you can see the difference between the two. And this is a little bit bigger than table tennis. And then if you compare the balls, that's the size. So the pickleball is this one, and tennis is here. And the difference in weight is quite a bit, because the tennis ball is nearly 2.5 times more heavier than the pickleball. And that translates into a lot of the things that I was talking about in terms of putting stress on your body parts, especially your wrist, tennis, and shoulder, because you're either hitting with all that force or you're absorbing all that force when you hit it back. And a lot of the injuries, especially known for tennis elbow, don't happen in pickleball. So to get started quickly with the motions for it, the most complicated thing in tennis is the serve. And then when I was taught, basically it's complicated because you're involving 4 complex motions and getting them into one. So the motions that we have are first with your legs, it's a spring, so you have to bend down with your knee, and then you're bouncing off of it. The second one is the torsion, so you're doing winding both with your wrist, with your arm, and your hips, and then you're stretching, and you're getting it going. So to combine all 4 of those, it's a really complicated motion. It will take you weeks to practice it. Whereas pickleball, all you're doing is raising back and then hitting forward. Depending on your athletic ability, you could master that in either a few minutes or a few hours. It's that simple. And then compared to tennis, where you have that motion, it's similar to a baseball pitcher. Even if you master it, continually doing it is going to give you problems with your shoulder, a lot of rotator cuff injuries. So today we're going to go over the basics. We already covered the serve. Now I'm going to go ahead with the forehand. And the forehand is relatively simple. It's just the alternation of the serve. So if you do the serve this way, the forehand, you're going to start by going back even further, and then you can hit it forward. So the basic motion I'm going to cover is, again, 4 parts, and it's going to start from another sport altogether, which is baseball. If you guys have ever played it or watched it, I'm going to go over those 4 motions again. So with baseball, you have the same thing. You have to wind up, and this is where you're doing we're developing the torque. So you have the wind, and then you have most of the baseball players, as you see, they put all their weight on the rear leg, and they almost lift up or no weight on the opposite leg. So then you're leaning forward, and then you're twisting both your hips and your arms, and then you're following through with it. That's the most complicated thing. It requires more skill than even tennis. So compared to baseball and tennis, pickleball is really easy. Now, most of the videos that you see online, they're going to start off with, bend your knees, go back, and then hit forward with it. The problem with that one is that it's going to require your muscle memory to coordinate all those 3 things between your bending your knee, leaning forward, and then going through with your arms. And those are complicated motions. What I would suggest for beginners, if you haven't played, is just develop the hand-to-eye coordination. Just hit it slightly, and then keep going back. Keep going back, and then as you get more familiar with it, you can go all the way back, and then the twist is going to come naturally, and then you can put in the body weight. Now for the backhand, with tennis, you're going to have to start with two hands because one hand is not strong enough. So you're going to have a two-handed backhand, and you're going to have to do the same thing. Where you lean back, twist, and then go forward. So with pickleball, it's a lot easier. As a matter of fact, if you listen to comedians from certain nationalities and some ethnicities, you probably already learned this motion from your parents. It's the same motion, the backhand. So if you haven't gone through with that one, if you really wanted to put some more power into it, you'd start off again by going backwards and then twisting your hips, leaning back on your leg, and then following through.
Yellow.
These are the three basic strokes. You got the serve, the forehand, and the backhand. Once you learn that, you can master all the other ones. And it's a fun way to play the sport. It's because the court size is also smaller, about 1/3 the size of tennis. It's a lot less running around, a lot less stress on your joints and on your body parts because you don't have the issues with the wrist, tennis elbow, and your shoulder. And it's fun to play and it's easy to learn. And it's becoming one of the most fast growing sports in the US. So I'd like to have you guys, if you haven't tried it before, try it out, get some exercise and have some fun. These are Toastmasters. Oh, you know what? How much time do I have left? I didn't do the hitting on that one.
Oh, you have 45 seconds left. If you want.
Okay, so I just wanted to demonstrate a few of the hits over here. See how that goes. Live demos don't actually go well. So basically, if you're doing the forehand again, you're dropping over here. And what that looks like. And if you're doing the backhand, again, it's just you're starting off with this one, and then you're following through.
Red.
That's it. Mr. Table Topics Master, or Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ross. Yeah. I hear a lot of people at work play pickleball, and I didn't know what it was. So now I know. It's sounds like a cool sport. Okay, I'm your timer. I'm going to give everybody 1 minute so you can give feedback to Ross, and that'll give Maha time to write his evaluation.